And look at this Survivor in the Survivor Series. 52 years old, and what was cool in 1968 is still cool 52 years later. I've been shooting around here. All kinds of people have come by to look at the car, take pictures of the car. It's instantly recognizable. Of course, after the passing of Carroll Shelby and with the movie Ford versus Ferrari that came out about a year ago, these cars are now even more sought after because of the mystique of Carroll Shelby. So Carroll Shelby in the 1960s was taking cars from Ford and then heavily modifying them and selling them on under his own name. And that's what this is. The GT500 came out in 1967. This is a 1968 and a short-lived run because after that, it got folded into the Ford Motor Company. So Carroll Shelby was making these cars and modifying them and then selling them on. So what he would get from Ford is a big block 428 under the hood, Fastback Mustang 68. Then he modified the front clip, putting a unique look on it, the scoops down the side, the duck tail, unique looking tail lamps, big exhaust tips, and of course modifying the engine. Now, before we go any farther, I want to give a big shout out to Core Cars here in Vancouver that has this car. In fact, he's selling it for a customer of his that has two of these. He's got a GT350 convertible and this GT500 coupe, and he's selling this one on. So surf over to corecars.com. It's in the description below if you want to look at this car, all the beautiful pictures, and find out more about it. Now, anybody that knows the muscle car scene, anybody that follows the auctions like Barrett Jackson knows that this is a highly desirable car, highly desirable color combination, and inside there's something very cool on the glove box. I don't care who you are, you sit in this car, you are just way cooler sitting in this car. And looking over across the dash, and it's signed by Carroll Shelby, which means Carroll Shelby sat in that seat to sign that. That is pretty damn cool. So what you have with the GT500, which is different than the GT350, is this was more of an upscale car. They put wood on the dash. You got the, the leather seats or the faux leather seats, which are very comfortable. I have to say, modern car manufacturers should go back and look at some of these cars for the seating position, the comfort of the seats, and the steering wheel is just tiny and skinny. That's kind of real retro, but comfortable. Like, I'm really comfortable in this car. So the interior, like the rest of it, is absolutely mint. Like, this car has had a full restoration. Obviously, it's not a full original 52-year-old Shelby GT500. It has been restored lovingly. Love the color. It's a numbers matching car, which means the engine and the chassis and everything are correct. It's registered and it's as it should be. Now, looking around on the inside, it's been meticulously done. It looks so fresh. Now, I want to touch on the outside again just a little bit. So this car has a different front clip, as I mentioned. You get the fiberglass hood, which apparently is quite fragile. You have to be careful with those. The back of the car is totally different with a fiberglass ducktail put on there, unique looking turn signals, and just has the scoops and everything that make it look so iconic. And as I drove here and as I'm going to drive now, this thing gets attention. You want a car that gets attention and you have the money, buy one of these. So back to the interior. The GT350 was more of the purist's sports car. This was meant to be sort of maybe a little bit more of the high performance gentleman's car with the wood interior. You have to decide whether you like it or not, but it certainly is period correct. And as I said before, what's cool 52 years ago is still cool today. Now, this is not my car. This is a very rare car. It's a very expensive car, and I only have it for a few hours. So I'm just gonna cruise around in it. It's not my place to be lighting up the tires and going nuts with this car. I'm just gonna enjoy what it is. And what this is a piece of American muscle car history. There are a lot of clones of this car, cars that have been modified to look like this car. This is the real deal. And as I referenced off the beginning, so the GT500 was made and first introduced in 1967, a full production year in 1968, and then in 1969, Carroll Shelby's relationship with Ford was a little bit sour, and then the company got folded in to the Ford Motor Company. So if you're looking for a rare car, a car that was only made really for 2 years, this is it. It came from Ford with a Cobra Jet V8 engine, a 428. It then has the Holley 4-barrel carburetor with the Ram air system. It also has reworked camshafts, reworked cylinder heads, and connecting rods. Plus there were suspension modifications made to this car and more. The horsepower, now this sounds really quite pedestrian in 2020 numbers, is 360 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you want a faster Mustang, you just go and get a new 2020 Mustang GT. It's faster and handles better in every way, but you don't look as cool as this driving this car. This is cool. This is like the ultimate cool. And as I mentioned, man, it's comfortable. You got that big, long hood in front of you. You sit back looking like Steve McQueen. It's so cool. Wait a second, I got that wrong. You sit back looking like Steve McQueen. So cool. That's better. Maybe that's how you got to drive this car. So who's going to buy this car? Somebody that's obviously an enthusiast and a collector and has the means to do it. Rare cars demand high prices. Rare colors, or the right colors, demand high prices. Condition is everything. So what makes a car collectible? It is highly desirable, low production numbers, and also condition. This meets all three easily. I know a bit about this car because I'm like a lot of auto enthusiasts. I followed along with Carroll Shelby. I'm a huge Mustang enthusiast of the new cars and the old cars. I drove one of these cars when I was 17 years old. It was the GT350. I worked in valet parking at the racetrack in Toronto, the horse racetrack, and I remember getting in it, and the guy says, "Now take it easy, buddy." I just looked at the throttle and lit up the back wheels. I was so impressed back then. That's the only sort of original vintage GT Shelby car that I ever drove, and now this is the second one, and the mystique is still here. We had, when I was a teenager, my dad bought a 1970 Cougar from the Mercury side. Now, it wasn't a GT or a Shelby, but that was hell fast. I remember when my dad bought it, we went to pick it up, and he didn't tell me what we were getting, and the guy opened the garage, and there was this sunburst orange, California burnt orange, I think it was called, 1970 Cougar with the lights that were sequenced like this. And I remember thinking to myself, did he just buy this for me? No, he bought it for himself. But I used to take off in that thing and race hell with it. That was a lot of fun. So it's kind of like coming back to an old friend driving this. The thin steering wheel is the thing that takes the most to get used to. Modern cars have these big, fat, thick, leather steering wheels. This is like I don't think it's real wood. It's kind of like a faux wood, skinny little steering wheel. As I said, you want a fast Mustang, buy a new Mustang. You want a cool Mustang, you buy this. And they're not making any more of them. So once again, thanks to Core Cars here in Vancouver, Core Motor Cars. The website is below. This beautiful car is going to be sold to somebody that's lucky and wealthy enough to afford it. It really is a cool example. Yeah, full restoration. It's got a new steering rack, new rear brakes, and it's ready to go. So you're looking at a piece of history, and I'm fortunate enough to drive it, at least for one day.